Communication crash, coordinated management of meaning theory. Pearce and Cronin developed the theory in 1980 while they both were at the University of Massachusetts at Amherst by publishing their book Communication, Action, and Meaning: The Creation of Social Realities. Pearce and Cronin created this theory on the belief that conversations between individuals are predictable and have patterns and rules that take place. Coordinated management of meaning is a theory that through conversations with others, we create a meaning within that social reality. An example I use is inside jokes. If you and your friend had an event that both of you found humorous and you associated that situation with a word, whenever you and that friend say the word, you both know that word represents the humorous event. However, a third party in your conversation would not understand the meaning behind that word in the same way you do. The term best used to describe the inside joke situation is social constructism, which is defined as the belief that people co-construct their social reality in conversations. My husband and I often disagree on many different things. That is one of the reasons we love each other. We challenge each other's beliefs, and it allows both of us to see the other side of conflicts. However, these conversations do not always come with effective communication. The past few months with the new administration, there have been some very controversial decisions made, and we both have very different opinions about them. In our conversations about the decisions being made, my husband will say something that I take offensively, and I get defensive quickly and take a harsh tone with the next statement I say. He then takes offense to the fact that I am no longer being respectful. From here, you know how the story goes. I get upset that he is now speaking to me with a harsh tone, and the conversation is no longer about the issue we were discussing, but about how we are speaking to each other. Life scripts are clusters of past or present episodes that create a system of manageable meaning with others. It is also important to note that episodes are defined as communication routines that have recognized beginnings, middles, and ends. I associate his tone with lack of respect for something based on conversations I have observed with him and someone else. So when I hear it in one of our conversations, it is extremely hard not to associate it with that life script in the past. When we first started discussing politics, we had great patterns of conversation. We were both able to voice our opinions without an argument arising. Nothing was taken as a personal attack. Now it is a charmed loop. We cannot have a conversation about politics without associating the life script of our tones as a negative feeling towards the other person and the conversation. How do we resolve this communication conflict and go back to the conversations we used to have about politics in an effective way? I think we can easily do this by both understanding what is theoretically happening in our conversation. If we can change our charmed loop into a new strange loop and change the meaning of the tone that is used from both of us, we can avoid the emotional distress that then takes place in our conversations. In order to do this, we need to create constitutive rules. Constitutive rules are a way to organize behavior and help us to understand how the meaning should be interpreted. If both of us can step back and realize that the tone may not be directed at each of us on a personal level, but realize that it might be a tone of frustration with the entire situation, we can then change the meaning of the tone and both understand how we should interpret it. We can also create regulative rules of conversation. Regulative rules are guidelines for how people should act. The coordinated management of meaning theory is one of the most interesting communication theories to study. There are multiple references to Pearce and Cronin's work that praise them for this breakthrough in the discipline. They have said that the practicality of looking at how people achieve meaning, their potential recurring conflicts, and the influence of the self on the communication process is admirable. It is also one of the most challenged theories. Some communication researchers believe that the theory is too broad and the definition is not as precise as it needs to be. Nevertheless, it is a theory that is revered as a breakthrough in the researching of conversations. It is fascinating to realize that being stuck in a loop of the same conflict and conversation is actually something that researchers study. Why do we get stuck in the same arguments time and time again? It is because we have associated the past arguments as the meaning of future conversations we have with each other, which creates a quick trigger to go right back into the emotion that was associated with the last conversation. People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. This is something we are going to take into consideration in our future conversations, as well as what I have learned from the coordinated management of meaning theory.